Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Total Football with Sports Adda. What's that? Now, we had two results yesterday. Sid, Croatia winning. It was a bit of a surprise for you, I guess, because you were the one who said it would be Scotland, and Croatia really outplayed Scotland there. And the next game, England, it's coming home. It's coming home. Finally, you see them in round of 16. What do you have to say about these two games, and what do you think of the results?
As I said, I did expect Croatia to win, but looking at the past form, etc., I thought Scotland would be up for this game. But for some reason, they just didn't show up for yesterday. They weren't at the level they were against England. Maybe the history between the two teams, the oldest rivalry over there, pushed
Yeah,
those players over there. And again, on the Scottish side, the finishing was lacking. But if you see
absolutely.
on the Croatian side, okay, Modric finally stepped up. Brilliant goal by him. And before that, also, he had a cracker of a shot which was saved by the fingertips of the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
But the experienced players, Perisic and Modric, did make the difference for them.
Absolutely, and that is something that they needed. Like I've heard this, MS Dhoni says this a lot, and I can quote him that you need to peak at the right time. And I think this is the right time for Croatia to peak because it's the last group stage game. Now they are in the round of 16. They've overcome Czech Republic as well. Now they're number two on the table, if I'm not wrong. And Czech Republic go down to the
They
third
are.
place. So that will give them another advantage to get a decent opposition. And speaking of the second game, England finally getting another win here, and Sterling surprisingly scoring that goal and his second goal of the Euros, only the second goal for England as well. Harry Kane starting. Were you surprised with all the changes and Sancho not getting started, something like that? Sid?
I was. I am honestly surprised with Gareth Southgate. As I said, I believe it's time to have Harry Kane step down. Yes, he is the captain. Yes, he is a leader for them. There are goals expected from them, but he has been on a goal drought for a long time with England.
12
Okay,
games now.
if yeah, 12 or 13 now. I'm not really sure, but yeah, it's around that number. But if they wanted to come home, they need those goals. Sterling is their winger. Yes, goals are expected from him, but goals primarily are supposed to come through your centre forwards. And if they are not, you're in trouble. And even with the changes he made, I was very happy with some of the changes. Saka and Grealish, both were nominations for my player of the match. Both played brilliantly. Yes,
Yeah.
Mount and Foden have something to look over their backs over now. Even Sancho, when he came on, he looked lively. But
Yes.
Saka and Grealish, I think, made a lot of difference to the midfield. And even the substitutions that Gareth Southgate made yesterday were kind of positive. Taking off Declan Rice and getting in Jordan Henderson, the experienced man, it pushed
Yeah.
them forward a little. And even Harry Maguire coming into the back line, it calmed
Absolutely.
Luke Shaw a bit. The defense seemed a little more solid. I was quite worried for England at a few occasions, but they came through. Two occasions where Kyle Walker chested it down to his goalkeeper.
Yes.
Seems risky, but it's something he does often, and he has that confidence in Pickford to collect the ball, and Pickford also isn't too troubled by it. So it shows that they are gelling well at the back, and Harry Maguire coming in will calm those nerves a little more.
Absolutely, Sid. And some good results yesterday. England winning and Croatia winning. Quickly moving on to the first game. It is Sweden versus Poland. An interesting game. Now, Sweden versus Poland. The first thing that comes to my mind is no Zlatan. And here you have another stalwart, Lewandowski. So if Zlatan would be there, it would be an interesting contest. But what do you have to say about Lewandowski? And finally, he got that goal in the second game, which really might bring him some confidence and a little bit of hope to his team as well, and an outside chance to qualify for the top two.
Absolutely. So, if you look at the table, Sweden surprisingly are top of this table, and they deserve to be there. I won't say it's by luck or anything. Poor
Yeah,
finishing by the other teams, good, decent performances by the others, holding the other oppositions back. Okay, so if you see the last game between Spain and Poland, it's not that either team had a bad result, but a dogged performance by both. So that is
yeah,
why the teams and the group is how it is. So Sweden have taken their chances, a well fought out draw with Spain in the first match, and a good win in the last match against Slovakia. And
Yes.
as you said, Zlatan missing for the Swedish team, but their forward Isaac is more than making up for it. Actually, when
Yes,
he
he
was
is.
coming through and was bought by Dortmund initially, he was touted as the next Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and he's kind of making his justifications for those comparisons. But Zlatan is on another level. He will have to work hard for it, but he is taking his steps there. A lot of teams noticing him not only in the Euros but for his performance with Sociedad as well. So
Oh,
a lot of expectations from him as well. And talking about Robert Lewandowski, he's a player to watch out for in this match. Everyone will be keeping an eye out for him, not only as spectators but even the defense of the Swedish team. They're gonna have their eye out on him because one misstep, he seems to run at the shoulder of the defenders, to run at their
always.
backs. They don't really notice him slip by. So I'd expect him to try and get a goal or two in this match as well.
And Victor Lindelof for Manchester United is an average defender, I would say, in a good team. And Victor Lindelof for Sweden is an excellent defender for an average team. So if you compare it that way, Lindelof really comes to the occasion and rises to the occasion. He performs really well and takes the onus on him to make sure that his team keeps a clean sheet. He's been phenomenal in this tournament, and it's going to be an extraordinary contest between these two players. Lewandowski versus Lindelof. Both play for big clubs. Both are well-ranked individuals in their respective countries. What do you think of this head-to-head player battle? Say,
So it's going to be an interesting battle. So as you said, in the Manchester United lineup, he seems to be an average defender, but when he comes into the Swedish national side, he seems to be a beast. And it
yes,
does have to do a lot with the playing style. You have a lot of players who come in and are able to perform in certain leagues or teams and perform admirably in one and dismal in the other. Okay, it is not about them being a good or bad player. Each one has their own playing style, and the Swedish style seems to suit Lindelof better than the United. Okay, I'm not saying that United has a bad style or anything, but they have a different philosophy in their game style. And going into this tournament, I think the Swedes are very sound at the back with Lindelof there. He is someone who gives them confidence, and probably they'll be looking at him to stop Lewandowski today.
yes, they will. They definitely will. And if you look at the Sweden record as well, they've got a brilliant record in the last 5 games. They have just this one
Yeah,
draw in the last 5 games. That's commendable. One draw against Spain
yeah,
and the rest 4 wins. It's phenomenal, and they're in some great form. And similarly, if you speak of Poland here, it's a bit of a rocky 5 games for them. 3 draws, two
yeah.
defeats, and something to look forward to in this game, because this game will decide, like you said yesterday as well on the show, and I repeat that everything in the past is gone now. It's today that matters,
Yeah.
and today is the day when one of these two teams has to step up, especially Poland, and it's a game for themselves. What are your thoughts
Yeah.
on this, and what do you think will be the result of this game?
As you said about history as well, the Swedes have an impeccable record against the Polish side. Okay,
Absolutely.
if you see their last games, the Swedes have won 9 of them, one draw, and only one win for the Polish side. So
Yeah.
if you look at the historical head-to-head, the advantage is clearly with Sweden. But again, history doesn't matter. There was a different set of players, a different time altogether. But I think the Swedish side does have players within them, and both sides have evolved over the years. The Polish side also has several players playing in the top leagues, top teams, as well as the Swedes. And another player that we might have to keep an eye out in this match is Emil Forsberg. So
Yes.
he's an attacker, and while Isaac and Berg do take the onus on scoring goals, Emil is the one who will be floating around the left wing to the central attacking mid region, and try and supply them with the balls to.
So Sid, finally, tell me, who do you think is going to be the winner? Sweden versus Poland. Pick your winner for today.
Going with his history and the form that the Swedish team currently are in, I'd go for a 2-1 win for the Swedes today. Lewandowski to get one of the goals for the Polish side, but
Nice.
that's the only goal I see them scoring. And I think Sweden will want to top this group as well. So there's a little bit of motivation over there to at least get a point, if not win the game. But I do think they will go forward and win the game 2-1.
I mean, you never know with the Polish side. You never know with Lewandowski. He can prove a strong
Absolutely.
like he has done everyone over and over. Now, quickly moving on to the second game, Sid, it's Slovakia taking on Spain. Now, Spain versus Slovakia, they haven't faced each other in any major tournaments before this. But whatever they've played, I think Spain has got the upper hand when they've had these head-to-head matches. Around 6 games have been played, 4 wins for Spain, one for the Slovaks, and one draw. Do you think now today, speaking of this Spanish side, who is just a revamped Spanish side in the process of becoming the giants of the world, do you think they have what it takes to beat the Slovak side? Because this Slovakian side is very persistent and they have managed to get a victory against Poland in this Euros.
Absolutely. So there are expectations, and any major tournament is motivation for the teams, as I've already said multiple times. But
Yes.
for the Spanish team, yes, they are in transition. They're building a new generation for themselves, a new team, if you may. But a lot of weight will be on the shoulders of Alvaro Morata. He, like Harry Kane, has the burden of carrying the goal scoring for his country. Okay, he will be one of the players to watch out for as well. He himself was on a goal drought, but vanquished that in the last game. And you could see how much that meant to him. And he went after scoring the goal to hug his manager Luis Enrique to show the gratitude for the faith shown in him. He's got that goal under his belt now, and Luis Enrique will expect him to push on from here. The Spanish side, all his fans will be hoping that he can deliver for them now going forward.
Definitely. And similarly for the Slovakians, you've got Marek Hanzik. He is a phenomenal player, the captain, most capped
Yeah.
player, the most goals scored by him, has played the top clubs in the Serie A. What do you have to say about this man and the impact that he brings to this team? Because Slovakia are a fairly small nation when it comes to international football. And this man is one of the most
Yeah.
experienced players in the Slovakian country at the current, if you look at the current squad. So what do you have to say about the impact that he will bring to today's game?
Absolutely. He's an absolute legend when it comes to Serie A as well. The captain and a mainstay in the Napoli team for a very long time. In fact, he surpassed the goal scoring record of the great Maradona over there as well. So,
Wow.
that is what is expected from him: goals, performances, captain material. He carries the team forward. But age hasn't been on his side. He left Napoli a few years ago, went to the Chinese league, has been playing. So he's not at the same level. But with the Slovaks, he has that quality. That doesn't go away. But his teammates as well are absorbing some of that aura from him and getting the results out, like we saw against Poland. So he may not have been the feature player, but the team around him performs with him. So that hopefully can be the extra motivation or push that they get. They want to keep the second spot at least for this group.
To be fair, he has played the big games, like you said. He had captained Napoli
Yeah.
for all these top scorers, so he has had that big game experience, if I may say so.
Yeah.
So he will be a player to watch out for when it comes to the Slovaks. Now, quickly moving on, Spain have not lost in the last 5 games. They've registered a couple of draws, I guess, but they've not lost. 3 draws, in fact. So that's a plus for them. Coming in with good form, good motivation, good confidence on the back of their experience and stuff like that. Pick a winner for today's set, because this match is certainly Spain's game to lose here. But do you
Yeah.
think it will be an upset for Spain and Spanish fans today, or what's your prediction for this game?
No, so see, even if you look at the Slovakian form of the last 5 games, very similar to Spain. They've registered only one loss, that was in the last game against Sweden. So
Yeah.
it is going to be a tough match for Spain. And as you said, it is Spain's game to lose. I expect Spain to win, again by a 2-1 margin, because I don't expect the Slovakians to sit back and absorb all the pressure. Both teams need a win over here, because third place is rocky. You don't know if you're in third place, whether you qualify. Spain, yes, I believe with their rankings, etc., they will qualify. But for the Slovaks, it's a bit dicey. So they are here
Yeah.
to win. So they will push the Spanish side, and if the Spanish side can, get those goals from Morata and their wingers. Actually, Moreno missed a penalty in the last game. Otherwise, it would have been a win for the Spanish team. So
Yeah.
a lot of expectations, and I do expect them to live up to their expectations and win this game 2-1.
2-1 it is, 2-1 for both games. I'm sure the next game will give you a bit of chills and a bit of nervousness as to who is going to be the winner. We quickly move on to the best game of today. That's Portugal versus France. Now the defending Euro champions versus the defending World Cup champions. The finalists of 2016 Euros facing it, right up there, the best teams in the world, the best players out there. What are your thoughts on this game and the magnitude of this game which is going to take place tonight?
As you know, the history and over the last few years, World Cup winners, Euro winners, finalists together. So Portugal have that one win against France, but mind you, that's the only win that they've had over the last 13 games against France.
Okay.
So, France clearly having an advantage there. But, both these teams are like wounded tigers and they're out for blood today. With Portugal losing 4-2 against Germany and, the French team being held by Hungary, the surprise package in this group of death. So both of them with surprise results in the last match, and both will want to win because no one wants to be third. Honestly, in this, it's a matter of pride over here. France out for revenge, and Portugal obviously wanting to come out on top again and change history a bit. So it's a tough match if you ask me.
No, definitely, Sid. It is a tough match. You've got the likes of Ronaldo's, the Bruno Fernandes, Ruben Diaz. You've got Kantes and players like, Pogba. You've got such legends playing, 22 star-studded players out there, 2 star-studded lineups, if I may. So there is an interesting head-to-head battle here. Rafael Varane versus Cristiano Ronaldo. The Madrid teammates, ex-Madrid teammates, now going head-to-head. What do you think of this battle? Because Varane is now a brilliant defender. He's one of the legends of Madrid and France as well. And Cristiano Ronaldo, we know he can't do anything wrong. What do you think? What's this battle gonna turn out like?
Both of them will be very familiar with one another, playing at Madrid, training day in day out over those years. But both of them have evolved since they've separated. If you may, Ronaldo leaving for Juventus. Varane has stayed back, has evolved, and obviously he has made up a brilliant partnership at the back of defense. And with Kante shielding him, he has a lot more confidence. This is going to be an interesting battle, and you can't have a winner over here. There's going to be multiple battles over there. Varane is going to win some, Ronaldo is going to win the others. Ronaldo again scoring in the last match. You do expect him to score again here, but the France are irresolute at the back. But we'll see how the game evolves, because you have players who will dictate the game. As you said, 22 star-studded players in these lineups.
Yes.
And there'll be an interesting midfield battle again. N'Golo Kante, whatever you say about this man is less. A gem of a player, gem of a man. His smile just is infectious, and the way he plays, he puts his heart out there. And he's an inspiration to a lot of players. Never give up, just chase down every ball. You see him running like a madman at the 93rd minute of a game.
Absolutely.
So brilliant. And if you look at the Portuguese side, you have Bruno Fernandes, who is sitting deeper than he does for United, but he's struggled to perform, and he is a player to watch out for because he has that goal scoring threat in him. But another player who tends to impact the game a lot is Renato Sanchez, who comes in place of Bruno Fernandes sometime in the second half, and the energy that he gets in is amazing. But Bruno Fernandes, I expect him to pinch in with some goal scoring contributions or an assist sometime during this game.
Definitely. And Sid, we spoke about Bruno, we spoke about Cristiano. It's like the BBC coming again. The Benzema is missing here. Speak of the
Yeah,
the Benzema. The impact of this guy. He's a phenomenal player. He's come back to France, finally getting game time. He almost scored a goal as well, ruled out offside. But what do you have to say about him? Another player to watch out for today?
absolutely. There are a lot of expectations of him being brought into the squad after so many years. And his pedigree is unmatched. He's been at Madrid since 2009, if I'm not wrong. And to hold yourself as their main striker for so long is commendable, because Madrid, they're going to buy the best. If you're not performing, they just let you go. Just see with Jovic or any of the other strikers that they got in, who they thought would actually surpass and probably replace Benzema, but he's held his own over there over these years. And
Yes.
that's what's expected from him in France. Yes, the goals aren't coming in, but you can see the threat that he possesses, the overall gameplay, and he'll have it in the back of his head that Giroud, the current leading top scorer, is breathing down his neck. And so both very similar styles, but Benzema obviously a more rounded player in my opinion.
No, absolutely. Benzema is more of a ball-playing player, and Giroud is more of off the ball, or you might say an air ball kind of player. He's very impactful, as a threat to the defense. Just the presence is important. Benzema is someone
Yeah.
who really do nothing wrong out there. When he gets the ball, you need a snap moment and he'll score. Now, quickly,
Yeah.
Sid, just summing it up, I just want to ask you a very interesting question here, because the history says France has won more games in the last 13 games. 11 France have won, just one win for Portugal. Important one though for Portugal, but whatever, this is another interesting strategy. Unbeaten in last 11 major tournament matches in the group stage. So that's phenomenal. But the question to you, Sid, here is, because France are a very attacking side, is it a big threat to have a Cristiano Ronaldo up there? And they need to be aware, because Cristiano Ronaldo is just world class. We know what he has been doing with Diogo Jota and Bernardo Silva and
Yeah.
players like Bruno out there. You think France will be a bit worried for the fact that they can't attack a lot because of the threats that they have, in the opposition?
Absolutely. And I think their left back issues is something that will compound over there. With Luca Hernandez and Digne are not performing up to the mark. Hernandez, yes, in the first match he performed well, but came off injured. Will he be fit enough for this match? Will he be able to perform at the levels required to stop Ronaldo? That is
Yeah.
a very important question. So probably we'll have to see if Mbappe comes, sits back a little more, or probably Griezmann or one of the central midfielders moving a little more to the left to compensate for that Ronaldo threat. But again, as you said, Portugal has immense attacking threat. They can't concentrate on Ronaldo, otherwise the others are going to get past them.
Absolutely. That's the whole point. Because, like I said, and I'll say it again, because these are star-studded lineups, and if there could be a separate segment of our show about these 22 players itself, because they are such phenomenal players. But if you had to pick a winner finally, one of the two teams, it's very difficult out here. But who would you think, and why, more importantly?
So see, I think this will be a high-scoring match. Firstly, somewhat in lines with the Germany-Portugal match, because both teams are under pressure. Okay, both,
Yeah.
especially France. They're all in and around, and France have a point to prove. Being world champions, losing the last finals against Portugal, they will be more hungry and they are more potent in attack, in my opinion. Though they haven't shown that in this Euros as yet, but with the likes of Griezmann, Mbappe, uh, Benzema, Dembele, they have immense potential there. And at the same time, Portugal have it as well. But Portugal, I feel, are a little lacking at the back with Semedo, Pepe. Pepe is aging a bit, quite a lot. In fact, he's 38 now,
Yeah.
37, and Semedo hasn't performed to the level. They're actually feeling the absence of Joao Cancelo. But
Yeah.
so these factors will play in. Mbappe will get more space on the left, I believe, today. So let's see how things progress. But a 3-2 win for France is what I think will be how it pans out.
You are a very optimistic person. I've just found, but I've just figured this out. Because you just give some bold and wild predictions like 2-1 to Scotland yesterday. Now today you gave this prediction. What do you think this is FIFA? What they'll score goals for fun? Because I think it's going to be a neck-to-neck game. It could just turn out to be a 1-0 win, or it could be a very close encounter. Obviously, if it's 3-2, I'll be the happiest to see goals and hopefully Cristiano Ronaldo scoring two of them. But phenomenal. I like your predictions here. Now quickly moving on to the last game. Sid, it's the underdogs Hungary playing, the brilliant German side. The last game of the day. Germany versus Hungary, Sid. Hungary have, held on a draw against France. So when they play Germany, what do you think? What can happen in this game? Because Germany are an out and out attacking side. They played attacking football against France. They played attacking against Portugal. I am sure against Hungary it won't be another problem for them. Who do you think is the player to watch out for, more importantly, in the German side?
So from the German side, I think you have several players who will be very influential, but none more so than Joshua Kimmich. Even in the last game, he was phenomenal. You can't fault him for anything on the defensive side. Plus, he's contributing in attack. And another player, if you see, is Kai Havertz from the German side, always pitching in goals. He's being a threat in that false nine position. So he's evolving as a player. When in his German Bundesliga days, he used to play as an attacking mid. Has come into Chelsea, has evolved and learned how to adapt to the false nine position.
Yep.
So
Yes.
he is bringing that to the German side as well. So these are two players who I think are going to contribute a lot to this German side today. But at the same time, if I look at the Hungarian side, they're very dogged. Okay, if you see the first match against Portugal, which they lost 3-0, they actually were able to hold on 0-0 till around the 86th minute, if I'm not wrong, if my memory serves me right.
Yeah.
And then things broke down for them, unfortunately. And even against France, they did manage to hold on to that 1-0 draw. So it's not that they can't hold their own against the biggest teams in the world. And if you see historically in the 1954 World Cup, okay, they did manage to decimate Germany in that game in an 8-3 win for them. But ultimately in the final, Germany did come out up top. But this is all again in the past, way long ago, 60 plus years ago. It's not going to matter. But this Hungarian side has surprised all of us this year. In the group of death, everyone had written them off. Everyone said this is going to be between three teams. But they've proven to be a thorn in their two sides at least. And let's see how they perform against the third today.
Definitely. And Adam Salai out there, he's the number 9. He plays up front. He is very skillful. We've seen him on and off the ball against Portugal, against France. He's a player to watch out for in the Hungarian side for sure, because of the fact that he just drops back and he creates that extra space for the third man runs and the players to just run forward and creates a lot of space, and he's very skillful. I've seen him play. He could be a threat for Germany as well, because Germany, in all the 2 games that they've played, both the games have not kept a clean sheet and haven't looked rock solid at the back, even though they have the likes of Matt Hummels, Sule, and even players like Kimmich out there to help them out. He could be a player who could impact the Hungarian game and can create problems for Germany.
Absolutely. He is a threat. He has proved himself both on the international side as well as in the league end as well. He is a proven goal scorer for everyone. So, you will expect that threat from them. But I think the Germans are, going with that philosophy that if you score 1 against me, I'll score 2 or 3.
Absolutely.
And we saw that in the last match. And a side note, the own goals record has decimated itself this year. The previous record was only 3 own goals in a tournament, and we're not even past the group stage, and we're seeing almost double that amount. Yeah, 6 or 7 own goals already. 2 in the last match for Germany, in favor of Germany. So it's amazing.
It's amusing and it's funny as well at the same time, because till the second day or the third game day, I think we were still talking about the same thing, that already 3 own goals have been scored. So what do you
Yeah.
have to think of that now? 7, and only the group stages have not been done yet. The knockouts and quarters,
Yeah.
everything is left now. But speaking of the whole game and all, I read this stat here that Germany have scored 302 goals to be precise, and that is the most goals scored by any team in major competition. That's a huge record because I think, Sid, you told me before the show that France were around 184. That's like a
Yeah.
118 goal difference.
18.
That's too big. That is the domination that Germans have had over the years, and that's the history that they have. So today is the day where they can replicate what they have been doing all these years, and the big names, the Mullers and the Wallers. So today is the day
Yeah.
where someone can step up like a Kai Havertz probably, and show to the world that they are no less.
Absolutely. I expect the Germans to be fierce in attack today. All their players, be it Gnabry, Havertz, Muller, everyone will be looking and itching for a goal. And they'd want to top this group, honestly.
Yeah.
Even though whoever tops, you have the chance of meeting England depending on your position in the league. But
Yeah.
that isn't going to be a problem for any of these teams. But because as you go forward in the tournament, you're going to be up against the best, and they've already been up against the best teams out there. And
Yeah.
I'll be as bold to say as Hungary is also one of the best teams, performance-wise. They've been amazing, but I think Germany will be raring to go and will be, they will be more attacking threat than Hungary today, and Hungary will look to sit back and defend today, and at least get a point and try and attack on the counter like they did against France.
Maybe that could be a possibility. And
Yeah.
it's like you said, the number 2 player could play England or something like that. The fixtures are as
Yeah.
such that they would play the winner of that group. So England is the topper of that
Yeah.
group. It's better to play a big side in the beginning because last World Cup, the 2018 World Cup, what I realized was France played Argentina in the round of 16. Then they beat, I think, Belgium. They beat the big teams and they came up. So that was a kind of a morale booster for them to come in the finals after having beaten such big teams. So it will be an asset
Yeah.
for any team to play England, or even for England to play likes of Portugal or France. So quickly said, summing it up, final point, who do you think is going to be the winner? I think it's a no-brainer here with Germany, but I just want
Yeah.
to know your prediction because you're the expert.
So, no, I think as you said, Germany are everyone expects them to be the winners, and I myself expect them to win, and comfortably by a 3-goal margin today. I think the Hungarians are going to be a little leggy today, even though if they are motivated and do have an outside chance. If they do get a result out of this, it'll be amazing. But
Yeah.
I do think that Germany have that quality in them to get that win, and 3-0 is what I feel it'll be.
3-0 it is, 2-1, 2-1, 3-2, 3-0. I mean, goal fest all around. The last time they played,
Yeah.
like you said, 54 World Cup, it was 8-3 to Hungary, then 3-2 in the finals. That 8-3
Yeah.
was the biggest
For
victory for
Germany.
Germany so far, I think so far. So I think it is time for redemption. Clear-cut winners Germany from our expert Sid here. And thank you for joining with me, Sid, today. You've really predicted a high-scoring contest today.
Match
I'll
day.
have to change my captains every now and then to keep as the captain because everyone's going to score goals, as you said. And it's interesting. I'll see you tomorrow at the same time, and we'll talk more about today's 4 games and some interesting games coming up tomorrow as well. So thank you for joining with me, Sid. Hope your predictions are right, except the France and Portugal game. And thank you so much.